some comments about that too that I'll get to in another video. But I mean, I'm like, they're going to mess around and they're going to have creators, influencers, etc. This league will end up catching lawsuits from people. That's where that's going to end up heading. I can tell you right now, because they're going to, at some point, they're going to try to squash people's voices and they're going to legally, smash them for trying that. So I hope they understand what it is they're.
The Professional Women's Basketball Organization encounters substantial difficulties as players maintain tensions with fan communities during ongoing labor contract discussions. Rather than building constructive connections with audiences, athletes continue expressing criticism toward individuals who support games through attendance and merchandise purchases. Major media investigations documented established supporters describing their initial engagement with women's basketball. These committed fans highlighted how the sport originally provided alternative experiences compared to conventional athletics. Numerous supporters valued the cooperative environment where opponents weren't considered enemies deserving animosity, but rather collaborators striving to increase women's sports recognition.
The roads they're going down. So here we go. Alyssa Thomas, right here, talking about the fandom.
Yes, I think, our sports culture. I think so many fans, feel they have the freedom to say whatever they want to us, and unfortunately, there's a lot of nasty things that come with it. At the end of the day, we're here doing our job.
A devoted follower recalled attending football matches where audiences hurled items at opposing teams and witnessed aggressive confrontations requiring police response. The difference with women's basketball created a completely new experience for this fan who appreciated the more civilized setting. Current circumstances indicate original supporters favor keeping separation from typical sports culture. These longtime followers seem uncomfortable with standard athletic evaluation and apparently resist wider audiences accessing their chosen entertainment. Despite expressing growth desires, they insist expansion happens within particular boundaries.
At the end of the day, we're here doing our jobs, and they don't have people coming to their job saying these nasty things. So we definitely have to protect the players better. It's unfortunate that it's come to this point, but I know we're going to continue to speak up about it, and we're just trying to play basketball. That's all.
Okay, well, number one, you got a job that's in the public light. That's the difference between you and a guy on some garbage truck somewhere or some lady that's an accountant in some office.
Conventional sports settings include severe criticism and rigorous examination. Potential legal issues may develop as the organization tries limiting commentary and evaluation from content producers and social platform influencers. These efforts might lead to substantial lawsuits challenging expression limitations. Alyssa Thomas recently discussed fan conduct, declaring that modern sports culture permits supporters too much latitude in their observations about athletes. She stressed that players encounter improper comments while executing their professional responsibilities, unlike people in corporate positions who escape such public examination. Thomas promoted increased player protection while recognizing the regrettable need to address these matters.
A guy on some garbage truck somewhere or some lady that's an accountant in some office that's not in the public light. You're going to get criticized, and sometimes harshly so. But what she really meant was Caitlin Clark fans. Let's be real. This is DeWanna Bonner's girlfriend, wife, whatever they want to think. Well, we just watched what she tried to do with the Fever. She got herself let go so she could go where? Join her significant other on another team.
The essential distinction involves public versus corporate work. Performers and athletes operating in prominent roles naturally draw criticism, occasionally extremely harsh. Thomas's remarks specifically addressed supporters of Caitlin Clark, considering her connection with teammate Diana Taurasi establishes particular dynamics within the organizational structure. This circumstance represents extraordinary developments in professional athletics. When Thomas requested team modifications to join her partner on alternative squads, public response included significant criticism. These arrangements harm organizational reputation and professional standards, making it challenging for dedicated sports fans to value the competition. Critics highlighted the significant revenue distinctions between organizations. NBA activities produced approximately $11 billion in 2023-2024, representing a 13% increase from the prior year. Financial projections indicate NBA earnings might exceed $12 billion. Conversely, WNBA revenues achieved roughly $200 million in 2024, yet the organization allegedly operated at a loss. The financial deficit results partially from obligations to team ownership entities. Despite these challenges, many contend that current player salaries around $80,000 annually, with maximum earnings limited in the low hundreds of thousands, remain inadequate. A more appropriate compensation framework might include million-dollar agreements for elite performers. Nevertheless, achieving NBA-level salaries would require proving organizational sustainability independent of individual star players. Clark's involvement significantly affects viewership and revenue creation, raising concerns about long-term stability without such prominent talents. Financial examination shows that player compensation constitutes merely 10% of total organizational revenue, a relatively minor portion compared to other professional sports. The estimated loss of approximately $50 million partially stems from this compensation framework and operational expenses. During the actual event, A'ja Wilson delivered an exceptional performance, setting a new WNBA All-Star scoring standard with She also provided 9 rebounds while shooting an impressive 13 of 16 from the court. Her commanding exhibition overshadowed other statistical accomplishments during the competition. Paige Bueckers achieved history as the youngest competitor to achieve a double-double in All-Star competition. Meanwhile, Clark maintained her impressive rookie season despite the team's defeat. The Indianapolis audience enthusiastically backed the event, generating an energetic atmosphere throughout the facility. Attendees began chanting supportive messages about player compensation during the activities. The Pay Us garments worn by both teams became a visual symbol of ongoing salary negotiations and equality demands within women's professional basketball. The demonstration represents wider conversations about professional sports compensation and gender fairness. While supporters advocate for immediate salary increases, others emphasize the necessity for sustainable business approaches before implementing major financial modifications. The difference between organizational revenues highlights fundamental challenges confronting women's professional sports. NBA's established market position and decades of development created current compensation frameworks, while WNBA continues building its audience and revenue sources. Indianapolis fans showed strong support for both the competition and players' advocacy initiatives. The enthusiastic crowd reaction suggested increasing public engagement in both game quality and broader equality discussions surrounding women's athletics. The All-Star Weekend included additional skill competitions and activities beyond the main event. These programs provided platforms for displaying talent while maintaining focus on entertainment value and organizational promotion. Player advocacy through visible demonstrations like coordinated clothing choices represents developing approaches to labor negotiations in professional sports. The strategy brings public awareness to compensation discussions typically conducted privately. The financial sustainability question remains central to salary increase discussions. Organization officials must balance player demands with operational realities and long-term growth strategies. Fan participation continues expanding, as demonstrated by social media responses and live event attendance. This increased engagement provides optimism for future revenue growth and eventual salary improvements. The debate includes wider themes about professional sports economics, gender equality, and entertainment industry compensation structures. Resolution requires balancing immediate player needs with sustainable business development. Current negotiations involve multiple stakeholders, including players, ownership groups, organizational management, and broadcast partners. Each party brings different priorities and constraints to compensation discussions. The visibility of All-Star Weekend provides an ideal platform for addressing these issues publicly. Player demonstrations during high-profile events ensure broader audience awareness of ongoing salary discussions and equality concerns within professional women's basketball.